Hey there, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you on a Friday afternoon. We're working our way toward the weekend, and we have a lot of weather to talk about, or weather changes at least to talk about for your Friday and for your Saturday and your Sunday. So we'll get to that in just a second. First things first, I wanted to briefly welcome you to May. And what does May usually do? Well, let's kind of talk about it. These are climate numbers for the month of May. So what do we kind of see here typically around our Piedmont area? Well, a couple of things to point out. The first day of May has a high temperature, an average high of 75. Today was cooler than average. We had a high of 68. By the end of the month, our average high reaches 81 degrees. We do average about 3.5 inches of rain. Of course, we're in a drought right now. We gain 46 minutes of daylight. We end up with a sunset closer to 8:30 and a sunrise around 6 a.m. The hottest it's ever been was 100. The coldest, 32 degrees. Snow, well, we've never had sticking snow in May, but there's been flakes in the air couple of times. So that's kind of your little preview of what can happen in the month of May. Right now, looking outside, it's pretty much a nice evening here by all standards. We're in the mid-60s right now in the Greensboro area. Upper 60s for some, a little cooler to the south and to the east. What's going on over here, Asheboro to Sanford to Pinehurst, you have some clouds and even a couple drizzles over that way at times through the last couple of hours. In fact, for the morning and the early afternoon, there's been some sprinkles down in the Sandhills. So that's kind of what can happen when you have a very active southern jet stream. And that's what we have going on right now. You can see there's an active weather system that's kind of pushing along the Gulf Coast. And something we've been watching throughout the week has been this weather system that will be developing today, moving toward the Carolinas on our Saturday. Well, here it is. It's developing. But there have been a couple of changes. There have been a couple of shifts around this weather system. So as we work our way getting a little closer to it, what's going to happen, there's more of this is going to be pushing toward the coast and not as much here in the Piedmont. So you fast forward toward tomorrow morning. Notice how low pressure and the front is pretty close to the coast, and we are more so on the back edge, the cutoff almost for the edge of that system, which means we're not going to get much of any rainfall. By the afternoon, all of us will be dry, and in the morning, only some of us will have some rain. By Sunday, a couple things to mention. The morning will be downright cold on Sunday morning. And then the afternoon, just cool and sunny, being in the mid-60s. So that's kind of the gist of it here. Let me walk you through the weather model here on the closer view. This would be early tomorrow morning, so around 5 a.m. This is what our model is showing here. And again, it might be a little bit farther inland. It might be a little bit closer to the coast. This is just an estimate. But it basically kind of straddles the I-85 area as the back edge of the cutoff of this system. And that's not good news, right? It's not going to give us a good opportunity to get much of any rainfall, and it's mostly for the morning. So really, this is a nothing burger for rain. To put it another way for you, I've kind of color-coded the map. If you're in the foothills or the mountains, you're not getting a drop of rain, and I can guarantee it. In the triad, it's a possibility. There's the possibility of some light rain showers, but there's also a good chance you stay dry as well, and that's not good. But farther south and east toward Raleigh and Sanford and Troy, Asheboro too, better chance for some rain out there. So that's kind of the breakdown. That's kind of the way I see it going into tomorrow. So bottom line, if you're hour by houring your forecast here, it'll be chilly and cold for most of us, low 50s through the morning, mid to upper 50s for the afternoon. A lot of cloud cover, very cool day of weather with that morning shower chance and a midday shower chance. The afternoon, that looks to be dry for pretty much everybody. So that's kind of the way I see it around our area. And temperatures will vary a little bit as well. It really kind of depends on where you are. But all of us will be chilly. The warmest areas will be in the foothills where you get into the mid 60s mostly, 61, 63, something like that. That's because you won't get any rain, and there's even the opportunity of just a peak or two of some sunshine. So that's kind of where we're going for tomorrow. All right, so that's the bummer of the weekend. If we look ahead, closing in on Sunday, that's going to be the nicer day to get outside. Our drought, unfortunately, is just, in big trouble because we're not getting any service for that drought with this rainfall this weekend. But I do want to show you how cold we're likely to get for tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow morning, for Sunday morning. Take a look at this. This is cold stuff. So briefly, we'll be dipping down into the upper 30s for the rural areas and low 40s in the triad. This is a real cold spell here. Briefly, it doesn't last that long, but briefly, we are looking at a big cold spell on Sunday morning. So be prepared for that. If you have any plants that are still mobile that you could bring in or cover up on the deck, maybe you want to do that. Throw a light sheet on them otherwise, and they'll be okay. This is just a brief cold snap, but that's kind of the way that we're situating ourselves on Sunday. As far as the weekend overall, like I said, Saturday is cloudy and cool. There is the opportunity of some scattered rain from time to time. Looking ahead to Sunday, that's the nicer of the 2 days. Chilly in the morning, a little warmer for the afternoon, into the mid 60s. So that's kind of where we are going. Beyond that, there's an opportunity for some rain toward the middle of next week. That would be Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That's a chance of another cold front moving on by. So we are getting these chances. They've just not been doing very well for us. So unfortunately, we're not taking full advantage of our cold fronts as they kind of push on by our area. Pollen report, it's still in the high range overall. We had been doing better. It's not doing quite as well anymore. That just goes with dry weather returning and sunshine as well. Here's the full forecast. We'll have some clouds around the area. Pretty low chance of rain showers for most of us, but it's gloomy to start the day. And then as we go through the afternoon, it's drying out. Early next week, we'll be in the mid-70s to near 80 degrees, getting closer to average for May. And we're watching Wednesday night into Thursday morning for that next opportunity of some rainfall. That's your forecast. We'll be back in just about 2 minutes with more on your Carolina weather.